Peace and high frequencies, family. I'm going to dabble into the dream and reveal as much as I can. And here we go, y'all. I'm about to sneeze every time. Every time I start the video, I'm starting to think that maybe that's a message from my spirit guides or something. That's when they coming in. They making me sneeze. All right, so in the dream last night, everybody out doing their yard, okay. Wonderful season. In the dream last night, it felt like I was on another dimension, and I was with my sister. That was one of the things that really stood out, was the fact that I was with my sister. And we were pulling up to what seemed like McDonald's. And we got out the car, whatever we were in. I just remember like getting out of something and just, moving and walking. And I saw my ex from high school. And I remember saying to her that, I don't want to speak to him. Let's just keep walking. Maybe he won't see me. And so he saw me anyways, and he came up and he was like, so you just gonna walk past and you're not gonna say anything? And I was like, I'm sorry, I really didn't feel like talking. I really wasn't in the mood to talk, da-da-da-da-da. And then he walks off. Me and my sister, we go inside of the restaurant, McDonald's or whatever it was. Now, also in the dream, my sister had some type of possession. It was some type of energy that was inside of her, and it was in other people too, because you could feel this possession on this dimension where I was, but it wasn't in me. But I was with her and I almost felt like I was a guardian for her. So we went into the restaurant, sat down, something happened. I don't know if she weighed something, spilled something, because the dream starts to get a little hazy with my recall. And so I go to get some tissue, like Kleenexes, but I was pulling these Kleenexes from the trash bin. And then there was some people that were looking and seeing me pulling from the trash bin, and I was like, why am I getting them from over here? I said, let me pull something for the clean tissues and use it to clean up. And the dream starts to really fade in and out. It's really, really, really hazy, y'all. But I do remember this song that was in the dream, and it was in my head when I woke up, by The Weeknd, Blinding Lights. And y'all know I can't sing, but I'm gonna give you the words. He says, ooh, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. I won't stop until I feel your touch. Ooh, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. What did he say after that? I can't remember the words after he said drowning in the night. But those are some of the key words. And when I woke up, the only part that I was singing that was in my head was, ooh, I'm blinded by the light. That part. I won't stop until I feel your touch. Blinding lights. And so I don't see how that song connects to the dream yet. If it needs to connect at all, it may not even need to connect. It may be two separate messages, which I'm feeling is two separate messages. But that dream, I woke up, I had to look at the words to the actual song, and then I looked at the video. I had to look at the Weeknd's video, and he has on red and black. Of course, there's Papa Legba, Sebek, Eshu, the opener of the way, the Trickster, and then Baron Samdi. So I'm going to call him Baron Samdi. I think that is in, what is it at? Pale Mayombe? Is it Baron Samdi in Pale Mayombe? Or Santeria? I'm not sure. Baron Samdi. Or maybe Haitian Voodoo. I think it's a little while. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I can't keep up. I just know the energies are the same. I don't keep up with these spiritual religions. But anyway, that's that energy that opens in the opening of the way, that really goes into our left side of our brain, our analytical side, which gets us to be just logical, analytic, and senses, right? And that's what they use to program us when they have on that red and black. They using that left side of the brain energy, that Papa Legba energy, to open up the way so you can be open and susceptible to the spell work that they're going to do. So he has on red and black in the video. He's driving this fast car, and in the beginning he's talking about, in the beginning of the song, he says something about Sin City, of course, Vegas, but he refers to it as Sin City, sensual. Sin is sensual. All right, I'm not sure if anybody really knows what the word sin actually does mean, but it starts talking about sensuality, the senses. When they talk about going into your sinful ways, it's just going into you being captivated by the senses, the emotions, what you feel, what you receive from touching different things or interacting with people, or sex and kisses. It's all about the senses. We see with our eyes, hands, with touch, and feeling and taste with our tongue, and we hear, we're captivated by the senses. So he's talking about being captivated by the senses in this city. All right, so this city, or how I was taking it from the song, can be housed in this subconscious planet that we've created for ourselves, and being captivated by all of the materialistic ways, the lights, the materialism. All right, he said he's blinded by the lights. He's blinded by the lights. Like, he can't see nothing past it. It's like the lights are the only thing that's in his view. That's the only thing that's in his view, is the lights, the sensual nature of this realm. And he's blinded by that. He can't see anything past it. And then he says, I can't stop until I feel your touch. All right. So if you want to break down that song, sorry. I'm gonna get to the dream in a minute. But if you want to break down that song, you really can, in so many different ways, especially watching the movie. And even like I told you, Papa Legba Shu Setback Baron Samdi is the trickster. In the video, The Weeknd has on black and red, and it starts off with him just laughing. It's kind of like he's the Joker. If you pull up the video on YouTube, it shows his face with blood in his mouth, and he's kind of like has this sinister grin, almost like. It's really, kind of, I don't know. Sinister is kind of like the best word that I can find in my mind to describe it. And it gives, in the video, he's racing this car. He's just in Vegas, like in a strip, and he's just going fast as he can in this sports car. Now, I told you sin means, connected to the senses and emotions and all of that. And it shows that he's that speed, that people always say, the need for speed, and connected to that speed energy. People are, I can't remember who spoke on this. It was a lecture that I listened to on here. And they were talking about the connection between the brain. Oh, it might have been a book I read. I'm not sure. It was either a book I read or something I listened to on YouTube. But the lecturer was talking about the connection between the brain and speed. It gives you this high, and it fulfills this emotion in our brain that goes back to the senses of why people speed. So he's showing you the lights. He's blinded by the lights. And there's a part in the video, if you all go back and look at the video, it slows down, goes, and it slows down. And then when it speeds back up, he's looking up at these lights in Vegas. And it's like he's blind. He's going fast. He's moving fast. But in his mind is going slow because he's blinded by all of the senses of this realm. And it's, I don't know why this song came to me, but I'm definitely connecting it to how in this realm, part of this game that we're playing is to overcome that nature. But there's a lot of energies to pull us back into it. Even with my sister's Velvet, my aunt, that shared about Coolio. Y'all go check out her video, please. She talks about Coolio, and it was brought to my awareness to go kind of look at what Coolio was talking about. But anytime you have light beings who step outside of the material nature of this realm. I was even listening to some KRS-One this morning, and how he was talking about, you know, it's really that voice that's within our being. That's it. That's all. The all-knowing, the all-being. And so going back and knowing that there's people who are destructive in this world, who are trying to keep us from raising up to our highest calling, our highest being, our highest nature, our divinity outside of this. Because what I'm trying to say is that it's in us, but we're blinded by the lights when we're here. And this realm tries to keep us blinded by the lights. There are entities here who are working on trying to keep us blinded by the lights and caught up in the cycle. But just like KRS-One, Coolio, DMX, Prince, Michael Jackson, all these people who have been murdered, talked about how these lower energies that they actually had a connection to in order to get to where they are, and exposing what they're doing. And anytime you expose a thing, it's gonna come back for you. Now the beauty of it is you can't ever kill someone. You can only get rid of the physical vessel, but nobody actually kills anybody. You know, nobody can actually kill anybody. You can't really kill. You can't kill anybody. You can't walk up to them. You can get rid of their physical form. It's almost like the movie with Denzel Washington when he was touching. I can't even think of the name of it. But the man was dead. But his spirit and soul was going from body to body to body. Anytime they touch each other, that was him getting in somebody else and getting in somebody else. And that's how we are. Like we are not, Coolio ain't dead. Prince ain't dead. Michael Jackson ain't dead. You know, none of this is dead. And you empower, and this is just from my perspective, you empower that energy more when you release God out of the prison that it's in. Because these people didn't commit suicide. These people were martyrs in my eyes. These people were martyrs. There's something that rises when you're ready to hit another level of mastery, because they did that here. They had already, like I talked about in my other video, they had already been here before, you know, thousands of years ago, and studied and practiced under the music or whatever, and got, you know, the linguistics part down, the vocal vibration down for hypnosis and for spell work under there. They had mastered that. So since they got to a point of mastery, but yet in order to reach that point, which we had already done, and to have the fame of it all that comes with, you know, being someone that's considered a star, which we are already stars, divorce, but that's another subject. They had to sign contracts. You signing contracts, you making deals. There's a lot going on. But their divinity within them didn't sit well anymore. It was ready to be released. It was ready to go to a higher existence and a higher plane. It was like, this is done with. I know you had to do this, but we're going to break this contract. And when they are murdered, they are breaking that whoever is doing it, they're breaking their contract, which is good, which allows their energy to fight even more against the opposition and everything that they got going on that they're doing. So, that's what's coming to me. Maybe that's why I had to sneeze, y'all. And so going into the dream, I cannot really pull what it all was. Oh, it's crowded at the Fall Festival, y'all. I'm at the Fall Festival with my seniors today. I got to do a demo, Tai Chi demo, and it's ages 65 to 95, 96, somewhere in there. I'm at the park right there. Yeah, I'm parked right here. But yes, that's your bag again. Yeah, I'm gonna let them go. Come on. So that energy of possession that was in my sister, it's the energy of possession here on this planet. Yeah, it's the energy of possession among human beings, among our mankind and human beings who have become open to the lower nature of the tree. So they don't know, when they got dropped in the Geb state, when they were in their formative years, as children, they were in a trance state, and what was being dropped into their subconscious was all this information that possesses them. From the TV and the video games, it's a channeling of spirits, and they are possessed. So I feel like my sister was a representation of, the people here who are in possession. They don't know that they're in possession, but our presence can help remove that and get that out, so they can have a higher vibration dropped into their being and dropped into their mind. Because spirits can go in and out here and there all around. Spirits are spirits. They're just, if spirits come along with people's emotions, can create a spirit. Foods create a spirit. Plants create a spirit. There's a spirit of the plants. If you have different animals in your house, they are a spirit. Dogs have a spirit. Cats have a spirit. Aquatic animals have a spirit. So all of that is spirit. If you smoke cannabis, that's a spirit. If you do psilocybin, that's a spirit. If you do just homeopathy and regular herbs, they hold a spirit and an energy and vibration. And so I want you to understand that those are spirits. And you have the power to decide what type of spirit you want to have and what spirit meshes with your soul essence. Because you may be like, hey, I don't know why my son's smoking weed, and I don't know why I can't stop smoking weed. I don't know why I can't stop doing this and that. Well, that may be what meshes with your soul essence and what your intention for this reality was for, and your mission, possibly. Or if you sit with yourself long enough, you can see, are you doing this out of sensual, if it's giving you some type of emotional response, or are you someone that connects with the cannabis or connects with these different energies, and that's just who you are based on your DNA, your soul essence. So that's something to think about, but you have to know yourself in order to know which one and what it is. All right, if you're not in touch and tapped in with yourself, you're not gonna know why you're doing what you're doing. Because I know a lot of people smoke cannabis and they go in like they channel information, and it's ceremony. Like you can sit around and you'll see people sit around, 5, 6 people, and smoke a blunt and pass around from person to person. But each time you puffing and passing, those are spirits that's going around. And what are you invoking? What are you bringing into the space? What are you're passing this energy around, and this plant takes it and gives it to the next person. Give it to the next one, then it get to you, and then you take it in, and you are doing this, and you're not by yourself. So others are gathering. You'll see that people sit and have conversations, and they'll talk. That's ceremony, y'all. That's ceremony. Just like psilocybin ceremonies, ayahuasca ceremonies. They'll have the toad ceremonies. I can't think of the name of what they call the toad. The scientific name, I can't think of it. But they'll do all of that. So know that that can change your spirit as well. So yeah, I wanted to share my dream. I wanted to share the song that was in my head, what came to me. I also wanted to share Sister Velva, my aunt. Please go and like her page, subscribe. She drops some major gems. When she talks about the Anunnaki, she talks about Yahweh, and she just goes deep. So I'm going to go teach my Tai Chi, but I'm always going to leave you in peace and high frequencies.